Well, hello everybody and welcome back. We are back doing another one of our video in our series. All right, we are now on to the Nightblade. Yes, the Nightblade is back. Nightblade, if you don't know, I played my Nightblade for about 5 years straight. It was my main about the time like Somerset came out. And I switched from being a healer main to a DPS. And a lot of people forget that I was a healer originally. And thought I could never do DPS. Of course, to learn how to DPS and parts and everything, I picked one of the hardest classes. Well, actually, hardest hitting classes, too, with that such a great execute and everything. But for this setup, we are using the setup that we've been using here for all of our Gold Road builds in here. And so let me show you what I figured out for him. Because the toughest thing for the Nightblade is that they don't have a really good, strong AoE. And so we've got to dip into a few different areas to get this to work. And so we want to have a strong AoE, strong dots. And so yeah, we kind of, I'll show you which way we went. Let's start off with the gear. Gear is going to be very familiar. We're actually going with the same setup that we have for the Arcanist. We're going to have our Slimecraw, again, paired with our Oakensoul ring with the Bloodthirsty. And then we're going to use our Deadly, all right, so our Deadly Strike stuff, and our, let's see, Pillar of Nirn. So again, doesn't matter where you put this because they're both medium sets, and we're only on one bar, so it's not going to be flipping back and forth because of our weapon. And so you can put them, you know, whatever you have, and I think this is kind of a mishmash of whatever I had left. I had the Inferno staff, I had a Deadly ring, I got a Pillar of Nirn necklace, and the Bloodthirsty. So, you know, whatever mix of Deadly and Pillar of Nirn. So, again, Pillar of Nirn is absolutely fantastic. It gives us our crit chance and our spell damage, but also gives us our, you know, that big bleed in there with a little rock, little volcano comes up and does that. So, you know, we've seen that before in our other builds. And our Deadly, which gives us increased damage to our damage over time and channel effects. The dots is the big thing with us with all of our builds in that. Actually, speaking of the dots setup, just a little story real quick and everything. I was over in Westfield, and I was going to take on a world boss, and you know those world bosses are quite difficult. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to wait for someone, and nobody came, and I'm like, okay, let me go and, you know, just see how far I go on this. I know I wasn't going to get too far. And you know what? I got it down to 10% before someone showed up and helped me finish the boss. So, and people were in chat, I had a couple of new people like, how are you able to do that? I said, well, it's the dots, you know. The great thing about a dot build is that you can lay down the dots and then kind of run around a little bit. You know, things like the Arcanist and some other builds, unless you're beaming, unless you're, you know, doing that direct damage, you're not doing damage. Whereas I can put down, you know, a little bit of fire and a good old purple wall like that, and I can run around, and then I can kind of heal myself and dodge roll and get out of trouble and block, and then, you know, my fire does a dot in there, and I can lay down, you know, another one and run around, and so it'll take longer, you know, to kill and everything. And I told them, yeah, if you look at my little DPS meter over here, you're going to see, I was like, I think it was like, you know, 2,900 or something like that for the DPS. So if anybody was seeing my DPS, like, oh, it's terrible and everything, but I'm surviving and I'm taking them down, you know. So it's, again, it's not about the DPS. It's not about having that heavy direct damage, even though we do have some good direct damage in there. It's all about those dots, and that's the way that I can solo things. You know, I'm an okay player. I give myself more credit. I'm actually a pretty good player, and but you know, people are always saying, "How are you able to solo? What gear are you wearing? What do you do?" I said, "Well, it's not really that. It's just kind of my approach to it." You know, dotting things up and letting those dots, you know, take hold. And are they slower damage? Yeah. Would you want that in like a trial where you need to, burn things down in a certain amount of time? No. Against mobs and other things and stuff where you got a lot of things, yeah, it'd be perfect. So it does have some trial application as well. In that. So, yeah. So there we go. So, all right. So yeah, we got stuff that's going to enhance that between our Deadly Jack, and our Pillar of Nirn. So that is going to be our gear. As you see over here, I've got my Sugar Skulls are back. We love the Sugar Skulls for the health recovery, and the all this enhanced stats. We're using the tripods for our pots. Yeah, I think that's all. This guy's pretty simple. I don't have too much on him. In that. Let's see what else we've got in our stuff. Everything's going to be in a Magicka, of course. If you see, my Magicka is actually pretty high, 32. 23, almost 24k for the health. We're at 4,600 for our spell damage. Spell crits, 52. Mentioned this before. Anything over 50 is really good for a chance in there. We've got some good recovery here. We don't really have to worry too much about resources because one of the big dots that we have is through our heavy attack because we're having an Inferno staff. Let me make sure that you know that the Inferno staff is in. I'll have it down below in the description, but it's in precise with the weapon spell damage, enchantment on there. Yeah. So we've got that. Oh yeah, and all the gear and divines. Sometimes I take for granted that everybody's watched all the previous videos, but I gotta make sure. So if you have any questions, if I ever leave something out, just let me know. I'll make sure to answer that in the comments. So all right, let's go back to here. So that takes care of all of that. There's all our stuff from our ring. We are using our Mundas of the Thief. Because that's going to be really good for getting that crit chance going. So there's that. I run a Khajiit. You could run Dunmer. You can run anything on this, really. Whatever you kind of like. We're kind of outside, doing outside the box, a lot of this stuff. The skills. All right. Our skills are Fiery Explosion. We're taking that out of our Destruction Staff stuff, so take all those passes. We've got our Magical Soul. We've seen that before. That's also going to give us our Major Breach. This is going to give us our Off Balance. That we're going to see it's going to be very useful, especially with our CP. And this is the one that's slightly different. I usually try to find a class dot that will work well with it, and also a ranged one as well. But, gosh, there really isn't anything that's really kind of strong enough compared to Wall. The Unstable Wall is pretty good. There's really nothing in the Assassin thing. The Shadow one, it was a Path to Dark. It still is weaker. Yeah. And I'm not even using the, what is the Grim Focus, thing that you just said that... you play like a little bit of the mini games. So you've got the arrow that procced and everything. I've kind of taken out of that in there, even though that would give us some more overall damage. Just having some regular damage stuff, the Unstable Wall, because then you don't have to worry about building up those the 5 stacks of that stuff. So yeah, so I went with an Unstable Wall. Plus we get purple, so a little bit of fashion in here because my guy has like that purple skin on it. I'm running the for my mount, of course, we got to talk about our, which one is it? Is it Erd? No, it's not. That's bears. I always forget. Yeah. So I'm running my good old purple ram here. So, and I've got the purple skin on with that. So we got the old kind of space purple stuff going. And so I have the purple wall. I got that upgrade through the achievement. For our scribing stuff. So yeah, so we got that going. And then we got a really nice heal. A lot of people don't know this about Healthy Offering. Right in here, it's the second skill in there. Healthy Offering, pour out your life's blood to channel the arcane, healing yourself or an ally in front of you for 14k health. That's big health, while draining 1,000 health from yourself over 3 seconds, which is not that much. It's over 3 seconds, so you're doing what, 333, boom, 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 a little bit more over the 3 seconds. After casting, you gain Minor Mending for 10 seconds, increasing your healing by 8%. So you can heal yourself once, or heal from once, and then heal again. So pretty easy. We're back with that Revealing Flare. Very good, out of the Alliance War support stuff. We're going to be getting close to White Strakes at the time of this recording. And so if people need to get their Alliance stuff up, that's a great time to do it. Gives us our major protection, 10%. And then we've got Shooting Star. Again, a nice flame damage. We've got all the flame damage stuff going on with that. And we've seen that one before. So yeah. So flame, magic, more flame, good heal. And heal your friends too, so you can be a little bit more of support on that. Yeah, so there goes the skills. And we're exactly what we had before. The green, really whatever choice you want to have in there. For the blue, Wrathful Strikes, Fighting Finesse, Weapons Expert, and Exploiter. So we can take advantage of that off balance. And same thing here, Boundless, Vitality, Fortified, Siphoning Spells, and Celerity, so we move around a little bit quicker. And take all the passives if you've got enough, points to put into it. So, yeah. Let me see. Is there anything... Gosh, these start to go quicker and quicker because, like I said, I assume everybody has watched all the other videos. In that, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Gear... Boom, boom, boom. I think everybody understands the concept now of what I'm doing. I've been really liking, getting all these together because when I switched from one to another, I was grinding for transmute crystals by doing random normals. If you do a random normal on a character, you get 10 transmute crystals, and you can. That's not by account. That's per character. So I did all 7 of these new characters that I've done. So I get 70. Transmute crystals, so real easy to get those back up to snuff, so I can make more builds later. So let's see, yeah. So we've got all of our gear, we've got all the stuff. We talked about the food, talked about everything, talked about the skills. Let's see, I can give you a little bit of a demonstration of what we're looking at. Again, rotation is just kind of almost going down the line. I like that because then I don't have to think too much about it. All right, so I start off with that 2 second. I like it because I can place it and I can still move. Go exactly where I want it. Then a light attack and this. Boom. And then a big gun if I've got it. And then my heavy attack. Ooh. Cast 5 skills. Oh, that was an endeavor today. Ooh, I inadvertently got a endeavor. I love it. Yeah. That's pretty much it. And then reapply things when they come up. There we go. Yeah, I like that purple especially because, especially when I have some fire stuff down, because then I can tell the difference between the fire stuff and the purple. Yeah, and there you go. See the rocks going in there. That's our Pillar of Nirn. So again, you see that in the I point this out in my DPS damage. 14K, and you're like, well, that's not a lot of damage. I want to do like 100K and stuff. Well, again, not the point of the build in here. I think people kind of are warming up to that in there. The big thing about this is that I can just put all these dots on. Boom, boom, boom. And even not having my my ulti up, do that, and it's doing damage. And I'm kind of running away. Run away. Boom, look at that. Look at all that damage it's doing. I'm not even doing anything to it. Look at that. We'll hit the thing from afar. I'll load it back up again. Get some enemies. Boom. Do that. I'll run away. Boom. I'm dodge rolling. I'm healing myself. We don't have to worry about resources at all. Yeah. And it's just fantastic. Boom. Reset them when they come back off cooldown. Love it. Yeah. Great soloing build. Still has applications in trials. And, especially around mobs. Because we got so much good AoE damage. And, so dungeons, trials, infinite archive, everything. It's updated. Now, one of the things we are going to see in update 43, which is about a month or so away from doing this, with me doing this recording, with Papa in the background, is that they're going to be switching up some of the skills, placements of some of the class skills. Moving like, I don't know, this one to Shadow and this one over to the Siphoning or anything like that, which is going to affect what they do compared to their passive abilities in that. So we will revisit the Nightblade when those changes are made. I'll let you know if there's any changes that we need to make. I know there isn't going to be as far as skills or anything, but there might be an emphasis to lean into with the change of that. So we'll see. So keep that in mind, when making this build, that things are going to change in a little bit, and I'll definitely come out with another video explaining all that stuff. So, all right, everybody, thank you again. I tell you, this series has been so much fun, and like I said, I've been playing every single one of these. I'm thinking about getting like an 8-sided dice to just kind of roll. It's like, who am I going to play today? Who am I going to play now? Because they all play the same. I love it, but they have a little bit of differences to kind of make it kind of a lot of fun. I'm just loving them. I'm just loving them. So thank you all for the support. Please make sure, if you haven't already, and you like what I'm doing here, hit that sub button, hit ding the bell, do all the things, and leave me a little comment down below. In there, is this a build that you might make, you might try? I always say, at the very least, if you've got a Nightblade, throw it into the armory where you've got some spaces in there, and make a version of this and see if you like it. Because it's a great going around build. It's definitely not a meta build in there, but it does really well. And like I said, ton of survivability. That's why I can't really say that in trials it's not a good usage, because I live. it's kind of like the boy who lived kind of thing, because if things get a little spicy in a trial, I can throw those dots and I don't have to worry about consistently doing the damage in there. I'm still helping out. I'm still doing damage, but I can move around and kind of save myself and maybe go res some of my teammates to be able to go and do that. I took one of the builds just the other night for our Tipsy trials, our trials of streamers, and I took, which one did I take with me? I think it might have been the Bardkinist, and same kind of thing. And I was surviving much more than a lot of people, and been able to res and help us get the clear for that trial. So yeah. So, a lot of fun to be had with this. I'm really enjoying getting all these builds. So this is the Nightblade. So we just got one more, because this is number 6. And then we'll come in with our Necro, which is a lot of fun. The Necro has gone through like 10 different versions of it, and I've kind of finally found the one that it works really, really well with. So yeah, I can't wait to show you that one next week. So, all right, everybody. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!